Meghan Markle released this particular picture. It did seriously shock the world because it came from nowhere. But what was the real background as to why and how and when she decided to release it? Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the very heart of London. Nice to have your company today, and as ever, lovely to see all those brand new subscribers. Big wave to you all. Yes, that's right. You have to be as daft as us if you want to carry on being part of our gang, am I right? We have to be silly to get through life. I often say this to everybody watching the show. It's so difficult in life now, isn't it? Wherever we turn, we've all got problems, energy rising, cost of living crisis. We have to have a daft moment in our lives. I don't care what you do in the day, as long as you have a bit of a giggle, it always gets you through. You agree? Of course you do. Back as ever to your breaking roll story of the day. This particular picture, as I say, really did dumbfound a lot of people because this all came around for this particular reason. Now, as we know, Harry and Meghan themselves were very, very private about their children. In fact, if you recall, when Archie was born, everything, I remember covering that and being out at Windsor, and we were told all sorts of stories about, oh no, she'd gone into labour, she was at this particular hospital, no, she wasn't in labour, she was at home and everything. And even then I thought, why all of this song and dance? Why can't it just be a normal situation? We were told though that Harry and Meghan didn't want to do things by the royal book. They wanted to do things differently, and as we saw that, they'd obviously lied, or somebody had lied to the media about exactly what had gone on, because Archie was born a lot earlier than we were told. Point though, there were still members of the British monarchy, so it did shock a lot of senior royals as to how they were going about things. But as I say, people were willing to sort of bend the rules a little bit for them, because they thought, well, is this the way they're going to do it? As we saw, it was announced on Instagram of all things. And when Harry came out, if you remember, to speak to us at the waiting media, it was very strange. He was like the old person, his old self, for about 5 minutes. But then when he came back down into the chapel area, miserable as sin again. So, clearly something was going on. Nobody quite knew what. But then, of course, we've had a spectacular summer, haven't we, with the royal children, as we've said often before here on the show, with Prince Louis, Prince George and Princess Charlotte really stealing the show, alongside, I felt, Lady Louise and, of course, other royal children. They've just been really good, actually, for the brand this year. And I know that sounds a bit cool, but, it is. It's, what people like to see. But as we know, when Harry and Meghan returned back to California rather abruptly during the Platinum Jubilee celebrations, then we got this bombshell dropped on our mats. And it's strange because Meghan famously said, "Why should I serve up my children on a platter for the waiting media or for anyone? It's not what I want to do." Then what does she do? Serve it up on a platter for the waiting media for anyone. Now, according to a very good source, this was really put out through sheer anger, because they felt, and I'm saying the ex-royals that is, and as ever allegedly, that they were so dramatically overlooked that they wanted to obviously make sure that their presence was felt. So by releasing this picture of Lilibet Diana, the world focus would return back on them. Strange thing to do, I'm sure you'll agree. But of course it did, a delightful picture of a beautiful daughter, and I thought looked really cheeky, in fact, whichever way you look at it. But the bottom line is, it just seems contradictory. And this is the problem that's really circling the senior members of the British monarchy, because they truly don't know what Harry and Meghan plan to do next. They tell them one thing and do another. But as a close source told me about Meghan, she truly is unpredictable and works in the moment, as they say. So whatever she decides to do in that moment is a thing that she feels right. And she felt it was right that the world should finally look at her beautiful daughter, Lilibet Diana. Even though, of course, this was at the tail end of the Platinum Jubilee celebrations. As a lot of people over here felt, it was slightly mistimed, and wouldn't it have been nicer if Harry and Meghan had have introduced their beautiful daughter with both of them together in the picture, perhaps in the grounds of Windsor, or indeed meeting a limited amount of media, so that everybody could have rejoiced in this magical moment. However, that was not meant to be, and this is what we got. Allegedly, this is why we got it. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.